Good morning. Has anyone ever described you as glowing? It's kind of a strange word, when you think about it, to use to describe a person. We often use it, though, to describe happy people. Maybe this sentence sounds familiar. They were so happy, they were glowing. Or maybe you've heard someone described as radiant. Radiant means shining bright. And it also means filled with happiness and hope. Do you remember that Jesus was called the light of the world? And do you also remember that Jesus wants us to be a light to others too? When we say that we will shine our light, it means that we will show people the love of God in everything we do. And when we are showing people God's love through our kindness and our compassion and our understanding, it is radiating out of us as hope and love and joy that are filling us up, and we can't help but have a special glow around us. And so we shine, especially when life is good. Here we are as a candle again, literally glowing away. But what happens when life gets hard? Or when we get scared or fearful? Maybe you're comparing yourself to other people and worrying how you measure up. Or maybe you're not as good at basketball as you'd like to be, or as your friends. Maybe you're spending a lot more time alone than you're used to. Maybe this summer there are a lot of changes that are making you worried, or you're finding yourself in a lot of new situations. What do you do? Do you try to keep it all inside you? Do you try to push down the fear? Do you try to pretend that everything is fine and just carry on? You can't see fear, but you can feel it. And it can put out your light if you aren't careful. Fear stops us from trusting God. Fear stops us from making wise choices. Fear stops us from trusting that things can change, and it stops us from sharing God's love and God's light with others. And fear puts out our light. So what do? Trying to push the fear down and stop it didn't work. So we know that there's a God answer to this mystery, don't we? Do you pray to God to take away all of our fear? Should we pray that God takes all of the bad things out of the world so that we don't need to worry about a thing? Well, we could try that. But we also know from reading the Bible that in this big, crazy, and complex world, bad things happen. And God doesn't stop that for reasons that we don't always understand. So instead of praying to God to take away the scary things, we can pray to God for courage to act, even when we are scared. We can pray to God for wisdom to make the choices that aren't based on fear. We can pray to God for grace when we get scared and let our light go out. And in that way, when we face those difficult situations, instead of trying to hide our fear and push it all down, we can pray to have confidence and trust in God, so that no matter what happens, our light continues to shine. This week, let's remember that even though God won't take our fear away, God will give us the tools that we need to face our fears and to help us keep glowing.